Monday, Flosstube. It is Monday, November 25th, closing in on the end of the month. We had our very last Sunday high tea yesterday of 2019, and there was a pretty good giveaway on yesterday's video, so if you're interested, the video just came up yesterday, so it's easy to find. My name is Caroline. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. It's been a little while since I did a Monday Flosstube, so I have quite a bit of notes here today. I spent a good hour this morning making sure that I wrote everything down that I wanted to talk about today. So I have a fair bit to share. I hope you've got a coffee or a drink. I hope you've got your stitching, and I hope that you'll join me. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the Because Monday draw, Because Monday giveaway. And just a side note before I get into the winners, on Friday I packaged up all of the outstanding giveaways that haven't been sent out in the mail yet, and there was quite a large stack. I was a fair bit more behind than I thought. So if you are still waiting for a giveaway, it's on its way. I packaged them all up on Friday, and then I had to go away for the weekend, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough time to get them all sent out. So today, after I coach flute choir this afternoon, I'm going to be getting in the car, heading to the post office, and getting those all sent out in the mail today. 95% of them are going to the States, so you should probably see them a week and a half from now. So if you're waiting for something from me, it's on its way, and thank you for your patience. Okay, so today's first giveaway was from the few weeks ago, the last Monday Flosstube, and the chart that I had up for giveaway was an ink circles design. This was the Thread and Eye Mandala. That was a shop exclusive for at least a month or two. I might have been longer than that, maybe 6 months before Tracy Horner of Ink Circles released it to the general public. Beautiful design. So I had 229 comments on the Facebook posting for that giveaway, and the random number generator chose comment number 110, who was Jerry Lewis Holman. So congratulations, Jerry. If you send me your address via private message or email, you can email me anytime, caroline@evertote.com, and I will get this out in the mail to you. Congratulations, it's a lovely design. Okay, so today's chart is a Pass the Stash. So this is not a new pattern. This is a pattern that has been stitched before by Sylvia Perez Hardy. Sylvia, at the last stitching weekend retreat that I went to at the Elmhurst in Ingersoll, Sylvia, that's a good name, Sylvia attended. She drove up all the way from Rochester, New York, and she gifted me a box of goodies. Some were Pass the Stash, some were brand new, never charted, never stitched, whatever. So I found a Mirabilia in the box, and it's so pretty, and it's clear that Sylvia stitched this pattern, and I'm hoping, Sylvia, that if you're watching this, you will maybe post a picture in the Facebook group of your finish, because I'd love to see it. So the giveaway this week is a Pass the Stash from Sylvia, and it is the Mirabilia Titania Queen of the Fairies. So as you can see, it's been used, but I've checked the chart, and Sylvia was very neat and tidy. The chart is in perfect condition, very well ready for a new stitcher to enjoy and love it. And I will mail this out anywhere in the world. So if you'd like a chance to win this, you can hop on over to the Facebook group Friday Off the Grid. I'll have a posting up there later tonight. today, you know, again, it took me a while to get ready to record this morning. I had to take Luna for a walk. Luna's also having some trouble with her paw, and the medication, she broke out in hives shortly after her vet visit 2 weeks ago. But there were 3 different things that we'd had done. She'd had a vaccination booster plus another vaccination for leptospirosis. We figure it's important because it's to do with wildlife, and you know, she's going to be spending a lot of time at the cottage, probably drinking out of puddles, and just to keep her safe, we believe in vaccinations. So she had that, and then she has a couple of different rashes. It's too much information to get into, but briefly, she was on an antibiotic and also a steroid cream. And then she broke out in hives, probably about 3 days after. So I stopped the antibiotic and the steroid cream, and you know, within about a day, the hives went away. So then the vet said, okay, put her back on the antibiotic, we'll take it from there. So I did. I finished the course of antibiotics. She was fine. Started the steroid cream again this morning because she was done the antibiotic, and within 2 hours she broke out in hives again. So I have given her some Benadryl. I've given her the correct dosage of Benadryl for her size and weight. I already confirmed it with the vet. So I'm just kind of also, it's at the back of my mind, I'm keeping an eye on her just to make sure, because it is an allergic reaction, and now this is the second allergic reaction, and this has come on a lot sooner than the first time, which took 3 days to happen. Now this has been 2 hours, and she's got hives. So I may have to pause this video. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, side note, Mirabilia. Titania, Queen of the Fairies. This is the giveaway. And good luck. Okay, so that's the Because Monday giveaway. Let's check the list. So yeah, it's been a busy few weeks, and lots of stuff has been going on. Just way too much, you know, day-to-day boring daily life stuff. The shop has been busy, which has been wonderful. I got together with Crafty Kim here in London a few weeks ago. We did go to Stitch It Central, so I'll save that kind of chatter for a little bit later in the podcast when I show you a few things that I purchased at Stitch It Central. And I had the distinct pleasure of attending the Hamilton Stitch-In. It is also hosted and run by Crafty Kim. That was yesterday. So my daughter Sarah and I went to we went to my parents' house on Saturday, spent the night, and then on Sunday I went to the Stitch-In, and I had a wonderful time. It was really fun. So many nice people. I'm trying to compile a list of all of the other Flosstubers who were there, so that I can put a list up for anyone who's interested in going to visit other local people, because it's a great group of people. And I don't want to, there's a couple of people, just 2 people I want to quickly mention. I met a lot of people yesterday, and so I don't want to rattle off a list of the 40 people that were in the room, because I also want to make sure that I wouldn't forget anyone unintentionally. So just 2 in particular that I met for the first time yesterday. Across the table from me was Stacy, who I met for the first time in person. And Stacy had brought me a card, and it was this lovely thank you card. And is that gonna, there we go. And she put in 2 skeins of DMC in my absolute favorite colors. I mean, those are my colors, right? See, I'm using the camera again, so we're gonna have to play around with the focusing again. It's gonna take me a long time to edit this podcast. There, finally, I got the colors to focus. So these are, as you guys know, those are two of my absolutely favorite colors. And just a sentence from her card here. Thank you for bringing me back to the craft I love. Happy stitching, Stacy, aka Neen. So Neen is also on the Facebook group. If you see her around, make sure you say hello, because she has come back to the fold of cross stitch. So Stacy, it's nice to have you back. The other shout out, because she came from Buffalo, is the Princess Stitcher. You may know her as Holly, but generally she is known as the Princess Stitcher. And she came up from all the way from Buffalo. So, you know, you don't have to live in Hamilton or even, you know, just outside of Hamilton to come. Cavell from Barrie drove down. She drove all the way down from Barrie. If you're interested, join the Facebook group. It's called the Hamilton Stitch Inn. I think that's it. And it's hosted by Crafty Kim, phenomenal group of people. And she got us the bigger room this time. And I think maybe we could fit a couple more people in there. We were pretty full, but I think we could fit a couple more people in. And it was really, really fun. So the other, Joanne C., who you may remember, she made this was what she brought us last time. She brought us the pink boxes with the Lindor chocolate treat in it. And she did it again this time. She also is the one who made me the card, which I moved. I took down some stuff because I was, well, it was a bit frantic around here sewing the last couple of weeks, and I put away a lot of my treasures, and I've only just started putting them back out again. So she stitched the It's You I Like with the cat, the black cat. So Joanne made paper craft boxes again for every single person in the room, and again tucked in a Lindor chocolate treat. And she's so modest about her gifts that she brings. She says, oh, I just had some time and gave my grandchildren something to do. And I wish that, you know, everyone had a grandparent like you, Joanne, because your grandchildren are going to be growing up with amazing memories of spending time with you. And the fact that you share these treasures with us is very special and very much appreciated. And thank you. Thank you very much. It's so cute. It's so cute. I mean, every little detail. Got red twine on the top, little tag. It's adorable. It's just adorable. Thank you, Joanne. Okay, so next up, I mentioned high tea. So the video came out yesterday for the very last high tea of 2019, and I've decided to do things a little differently for next year. So the first year I started something new every month, and it was a little bit of a celebration. I tried really hard to choose something special for my stash that, you know, I wanted to enjoy instead of it just sitting in a drawer. So every month for 12 months, I started something new. This year, 2019, I decided that every month I would choose 3 works in progress from my stash that I wanted to focus on for the month, and that I was going to celebrate those 3 pieces of stitching. So we're going to change it up again in 2020, and we are going to cut back just a little bit to only having high tea 4 times throughout the year. So mark it on your calendar if you'd like to celebrate with me. I'm going to do it January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st. So every 3 months. So high tea is only going to happen 4 times next year, and it's going to be on the first day of those 4 months. And I am planning a new start for each of those 4 high teas. I already have January 1st picked out. And you'll guess what it is if you remember that I say that Brian Blitzstitch suggested that perhaps people may want to join in stitching something special with him. So there's your clue for what my January 1st start is going to be. Just have to I have to track it down and purchase it. That comes next. So it's the pattern I will purchase, but the fabric and the threads I'm going to try and use for my stash. Okay, so that's about high tea. The next thing is we had a Finish It Up weekend this past weekend as well on the Facebook group. I had kind of forgotten that I said I was going to do it the third weekend of November, but fortunately someone said something about it and it triggered that, oh right, we were going to do that. Because in my head, I'm planning, so heads up, I'm planning another one for December. I'm not exactly sure when yet because I know December is a busy month for everybody. But, you know, for those who can participate, I am going to do another one. It's probably going to not be close to the beginning of the month, closer to the end of the month. And there will be another weekend. It happens on the Facebook group. I put up an event posting that invites everybody to join in, and then I put up a second posting that allows everyone to post photos of their finishes that they get the stitching finished during that weekend. So it's either the stitching on an old languishing whip, a page finish from a Heaven and Earth design, that counts as well. What else? Anything. If you finish the stitching on it, it doesn't have to be fully finished. It just has to be something that you've been working on for a while that you really want to complete. It just gives you that extra little bit of motivation. And then at midnight on the Sunday, so at the very end of the weekend, I count up all of the entries and then I pull a name, I draw a name from, you know, random number generator picks a name again, and then you win a pattern prize. So, ta-da! Okay, I have here some Save the Stitches stuff to share with you. My friend Dawn found some stitched pieces at a thrift store close to where she lives, and you know, I think I'm gonna save those to next week to share with you because I have a lot of other stuff and I want to take my time with this because one of the pieces has a name on it. So I'm going to take a photo of the name and I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. And let's see if we can do a little bit of sleuthing and figure out if we can find the person. Because Dawn has already started to do some tracking down. And she's pretty good. So let's see if we can help her out. And if she can't find the person that stitched this. Now, they live in Saskatoon. And, well, at least it was framed in Saskatoon, I believe. So I'm going to post a picture of the name of the person who stitched it on the Facebook group later tonight. And then if I don't do it, please remind me, okay? So that we can have some fun with this. Okay, but again, I'm going to show you those pieces next week. Finishes. I have 2 finishes. Now, one of them I shared on the Facebook group, not Facebook group, Fibre Friends podcast already, because it's knitting. I finished a pair of socks. So, and I said on Friday when we recorded the Fibre Friends that I wasn't going to wear them until I shared them with you because I want full credit for a finish, even if it's not stitching. I finished something. So I thought you might like to see them. I love knitting socks. So this is a Yarn Bird Studios yarn. It was a sock blank, hand dyed by my friend Suzanne, who owns the yarn shop Knit Stitch in Stratford, Ontario. So if you're ever in Stratford, Ontario, I highly recommend visiting Suzanne. She has a beautiful shop and she is a lovely person. So socks, finished. The second thing that I finished my Joy ornament. Can you see it? The lighting isn't great. It's really poor lighting today. It's very gray outside. Let's make sure this focuses. There. Look at that. finished it. Okay, so let me tell you the details on this. This was an ornament that I started last year during Flossmas 2018. It was from the 2010 Christmas ornament collection, and it was designed by Jeanette Douglas Designs. So if you happen to have the 2010 issue, it was on, you can find it in the section of the Silent Night ornaments. So this is how Jeanette's was finished, like that. Now you may notice that mine is a little bit different. I made a few small changes. First of all, I did not use beads. I wonder if I can use the back of the magazine to show you again. Yeah, why not? So I didn't use beads, and I also did not put the year on. There, now it's in the light a little bit. I did not put the year on because I don't usually like putting the year on ornaments. Except for maybe the Flossmas ornament. When I finish that, it's going to have the 2018 year on it. Even though I haven't finished it yet, it's still 2000. It was from Flossmas 2018, and I will finish it. But other than that, I don't really want to put the year on my ornaments because to me, I want to use them every year, and it's just, I don't know. Does that make sense? Maybe that makes sense. Even on pieces, sometimes I don't necessarily always want to feel like I don't always put the year on. I hardly ever sign my stuff, and I know that's terrible. That's a little secret guilty admission right there. I don't usually sign my work. I know I should, but I have a hard time drumming up the, I don't know. We're all different, right, folks? I mean, some of us do and some of us don't. I don't tend to, but anyways. So don't shame me. Please don't shame me. Those are my two finishes. So yay! Hooray! Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I didn't tell you. I just about fell over in my chair this morning because I posted my finish on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. I figured this time I was having a finishing weekend, I was going to finish something, because the last time I didn't finish what I wanted to finish that weekend. So this time I was going to finish it. And I posted it on the Facebook group. And Karen Kluba left me a comment. And I am totally name dropping because Karen Kluba of Rosewood Manor left me a comment on my finished piece. And she said something really sweet, like it was, she said it was lovely or beautiful. I can't remember her exact words because I was so shocked that Karen Kluba had left me a comment. I had a little moment. You know what I mean, right? Like, wow, that was pretty special. So I had a little moment this morning over my coffee and my Facebook scrolling. I couldn't quite believe my eyes. So that was very exciting. But yes, Jeanette Douglas's design is very pretty. Oh, and I didn't tell you, I didn't tell you more details about it. I should tell you about that because you would be interested in that since you stitch like me. The word joy is stitched 1/1. And this is most likely a 32 count fabric. So the word joy is stitched 1/1. The garland at the bottom is 2/2. The vines are backstitched. The leaves are lazy daisies. Can you see? There. So we've got lazy daisies. And then instead of using beads, I put French knots. I was going to try colonial knots because I've heard that they are maybe not better, but people seem to like colonial knots more than French knots. But I don't know actually how to do one. I would need to look it up because I've done one or two, but it was a long time ago. So I would have to look it up. I often avoid pieces that have French knots or things like that. So I didn't want to take the time to do that because I really wanted to finish. And I thought, I know how to do French knots. So I did the French knots with 2 strands so that they would be a little bit plumper and sit up off the fabric a little bit more like a bead would, instead of just using 1 strand. So other than that, oh, and my colors were different too. I did change the colors a little bit to use what was in my stash. So again, you know, make it your own. And I love it. I love it. So my plan is at some point during Flossmas to fully finish it and hang it on my tree. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the time because the flute choir ladies are going to be here probably around 1:45, and it's 5 after 1. And I warned you, today wasn't going to be short. So I want to make sure that I'm finished recording this video and I have enough time to maybe do an odd dish or 2 before they come, because I haven't done the breakfast dishes yet either. Again, don't shame me. No shame. All right, so since I've mentioned Flossmas, let's talk a little bit about Flossmas 2019. It's going to be a little bit different this year. Last year, Flossmas was a term that was coined by Heidi Cran of Stitching 1/2. And we were discussing the concept of it one night. She brought it up and she said, you know, just like knitters have Vlogmas with cozy, festive holiday scenes, and they talk about, they have a little bit of knitting and a little bit of holiday joy and lots of, and I never say this word right because I'm not, is it Danish? Hygge? Hygge? Is that right? Hygge? So I know someone knows how to say this properly, and it's not me. But that feeling of coziness and comfort as we get into, you know, the season for us where it's getting darker earlier and we want to promote coziness and feeling, you know, comforted. So that's kind of, knitters do that. And so she said, we should do that for stitchers and call it Flossmas. So last year, I sort of ran with that and I put out a video every day, but I also added to that and I encouraged myself to start a new ornament every single day for the entire month. Flossmas is a non-denominational celebration of festive stitching. So it doesn't matter what you celebrate, or even if you celebrate anything at all, the month of December, we call it Flossmas and we just have some fun. So Flossmas this year is going to be a little bit different in that I am not starting a new ornament every day. I'm going to be focusing on stitching that I already have started, and I'm going to stitch whatever I want every day. So some days that might look like a different whip, 7 different whips in a week. Sometimes that might be an ornament that I started last year for Flossmas and I'm going to finish it. And I'm gonna take you along with me, and I really hope that you'll join me. I also may have been working behind the scenes a little bit, and I may have lined up a few special guests to visit with us throughout the month as well. I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It is going to be Stitching Plus. So if you have 0 interest in watching Flosstube that isn't 100% about stitching, you may want to skip the month of December because I'm gonna have lots of other fun things going on. Every day we'll have something a little stitchy, but then there might be something a little extra. So I hope you will enjoy it. There will also be a fundraising aspect to the month, a charitable fundraising aspect to Flossmas this year. Last year we raised money for the Beagle Paws Rescue Organization in St. John's, Newfoundland. This year I have decided that we will be raising money for Muscular Dystrophy Canada for the entire month of December. And joining me in my fundraising activities this month is going to be Michelle Garrett. Her auctions this month will be benefiting Muscular Dystrophy Canada. So I am going to have some more information on the fundraising for muscular dystrophy later on this week. I hope to put out a small video on Thursday that will explain to you a little bit more about my personal connection to the muscular dystrophy cause, why it's important to me personally, and also how I hope to raise some money, the different things that I hope to do. I've got some really special things to offer in Michelle's auctions. She will also have more information on, you know, if you're not familiar with how she runs her auctions for charity, there is more information coming. So we're kind of, you know, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, trying to get things organized and ready to go for December 1st, because that's when Flossmas starts. But I wanted to draw attention to 3 of the things that will be in the charity auctions run by Michelle. They are going to be mailed by me, because I'm not going to mail them to Michelle so that she can mail them out again. She's going to auction them off, and then I am going to package and mail these items out. So the first thing that I have, and she doesn't know yet that I am going to be auctioning this off, but so I hope that she's okay with this. I think she will be, because she sent it to me. Jennifer Skiff. Jennifer Skiff, what she sent me, I can't even begin to tell you the generosity of this gesture. When I opened up the package, I literally stared at it for 5 minutes because it is so beautiful. And this is a tough one because I really, 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 really want to keep this. I mean, I really want to keep this because it's beautiful. However, I also don't want it to sit in my stash, unloved and unused, because I have so many other things on the go. This is a treasure. This is a treasure that was gifted to me by Jennifer, who used to own a cross-stitch store. The name of her store was Friends and Threads, and she had that shop in Oakdale, Minnesota. And so let me show you. Let me show you. Now, I've kept it in the bag, and I'm going to keep it in the bag until I'm going to take some photographs of it for the auction. But other than that, it is staying in the bag so that it's absolutely clean and fresh for whoever is lucky enough to purchase this. This is a full yard, a full beautiful yard of a Zweigart Kingston White 50 count linen. I wish I could show you on the camera right now how beautiful this is, because of course you're seeing it through the plastic bag, and I'm really sorry, but I'm not taking it out of the plastic bag, and except for taking photos of it, because I want this to be absolutely pristine for whoever is lucky enough to buy this. And it's really tough for me to give this away because it is stunning. It's stunning. So this is a treasure. And Jennifer, I really hope that you're okay with me offering this up for auction to benefit Muscular Dystrophy Canada, because I can't think of a better way to share your generosity with a charity that means a lot to me. So I hope that that's okay. So the other special thing that I have, now I've kept the Post-it note on it, and I will take the Post-it note off of it, but I thought you might think it was funny. If you know Stitch M, last year I purchased the Ufendel Sisters chart from Stitch M for what she paid for it, plus postage, because she mailed it to me. She kept the card from Hands Across the Sea, the card that came in the package, and there was no plastic envelope because she'd opened that and had the card. But she sent me the chart, the booklet. It's barely been opened. She probably flipped through it once. I've probably flipped through it twice. And other than that, it's pristine. I am well aware that last week, Hands Across the Sea has re-released the Ufendel Sisters charts. So this probably would have been more of an sort of item to auction off before they had done that for charity, but I'm glad they did, because the prices these are going for on eBay, okay, I'm gonna let my personal opinion out here just a little bit. I don't really agree with that. Though, you know, if people are willing, there's two sides to the coin, right? Because if people are willing to pay it, then people are willing to pay it because they want it, and if they can afford it, then okay. But do you know what I mean? It's one of those tough things. It's one of those tough things. However, I was hoping to auction it off to raise some money for charity. I would still like to do that, even though it probably won't raise as much money as it would have before. I would still like to include this as part of the auction, because as beautiful as it is, I will probably never stitch it, and it's worth more to me to raise some money for charity. So this is and could you just see stitching the Uffendale sisters on this beautiful yard of 50 count fabric? Because Michelle Garrett suggested it, and I'm like, oh, hadn't thought of that. Gorgeous. Okay, the other thing, just quick, I mentioned Sylvia gave me a box of stuff, and there's a few other treasures in there that will be going up for auction, but I just wanted to show you one because this is so pretty. So this is the Noel sampler by the Victoria Sampler, and it comes with the charm and the silk. Is it silk? Yes. Krynic silk floss, Overa soie, silk floss, Krynic braid, and the soie pearl, the pearl silk, as well as a Mill Hill treasure. So everything that you need to stitch the Noel sampler is in that. So this will also be auctioned off and mailed out by me. So just a little taste of what's to come in the month of December. So there will be a few giveaways, there will be auctions, there will be different fundraising ideas. Again, I'll have a short little video out on Thursday with more information about exactly how I'm gonna go about doing that. So I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll join me. If you are a Flosstuber and you plan on putting out daily Flosstube videos, like Patty Break of Newfoundland, if you watched her last year, she's coming back this year. She's also participating in Flossmas videos. She may also have designed a 2019 Flossmas ornament for us to enjoy this year. So that's coming as well. I'm getting a little excited. So that's gonna be starting on Sunday. Next Sunday, December 1st, daily Flossmas videos. These are gonna be taking the place of Monday Flosstube videos for me. I'm not gonna put out a Monday Flosstube as well as daily videos. Friday videos are going to incorporate a Stitch With Me as part of the Flossmas festivities. So I hope you'll join me. Oh, see, this is why I write things down. I wanted to give a shout out to Arlene Cohen of Works by ABC, because she has designed some lovely Hannukuh ornaments. So like I said, Flossmas is non-denominational. We celebrate everything. So I would be remiss in not pointing out that we have some beautiful other things other than Christmas ornaments. There are Hanukkah ornaments, Kwanzaa, you know, you name it, whatever you celebrate. If you celebrate nothing and snowman ornaments are your thing, or if you live in Australia and you want to stitch a flamingo Santa, Flossmas is the holiday for you. I'm kind of excited. Okay. So I told you about that I was going to do another video on Thursday. I showed you some of the stuff we're going to put to auction. If you're going to do a daily Flosstube video, make sure you send me your link to your channel. And I'm going to leave those in the drop-down box of my daily videos so that other people can come and visit you. Okay, stitch-alongs. Let's talk about stitch-alongs, because I have two stitch-alongs happening at the moment. The first one is the Rooftop Cocoa Shop. Rooftop Cocoa Shop. This was the pattern that came in the Evertote Holiday Kit. Here's the finished piece that was beautifully stitched and finished by Crafty Kim. And my version, because I'm going to show you my whips now. We'll pack this into whips. Here's my Rooftop Cocoa Shop. So far, no, there we go. I'll just put it here so you don't get the shadow from the camera. It's coming. I love it. It's adorable. So I still have some work to do on this, clearly. I would like to have, if you're joining in with the stitch along, I'd like you to have the stitching done by December 20th because we are going to be using this project to finish something on December the 20th, just so you're prepared. I've had some questions about these guys. Most of you know what they are, but if you don't, these are called thread spool huggers, and you can find them on Amazon. Someone else wanted to know how to get them on the fabric because they had a hard time opening them up. So all I did was I just, you know, used my fingers to kind of open them up like that, put one end on one side and it just kind of snaps on, and put it on, and that's about it. I certainly wouldn't say I know what I'm doing, but that's what I figured out how to put mine on anyway. So Rooftop Cocoa Sal. Rooftop Cocoa Shop Sal. That's the hashtag if you're joining in. So that's the first one. The second stitch along, and I don't have the piece in front of me. I haven't done any stitching on it since the last time I shared it with you, is the Santa's Village. Out of the blue, Melanie Watkins contacted me, and she's, because I had mentioned that I had kind of encouraged her to pick hers back up again and restart it. She wants some encouragement in getting through the Santa's Village. So she and I are combining forces. We're going to encourage each other to finish the Santa's Village from Country Cottage Needleworks by next Christmas. So we have a full year to complete Santa's Village, and we have a hashtag. So Melanie Watkins is Soulful Stitching, Soulful Stitcher, Soulful Stitching. Like Ellen says, I smell an apology coming on. I'm going, you know, when they're in your feed and you just watch them and you're like, oh, hi, Melanie. I don't call her by her channel name. I call her Melanie. So I'll have a link to her channel below. But our hashtag is hashtag Soulful Off the Grid Santa Sal. Please join us, because the more the merrier. And this is a stitch along. These two stitch alongs that I'm doing right now, I'm gonna finish them. You heard it here first. I'm gonna finish them. So that one we're aiming to finish by next December. Okay, guess what? That's the end of page 2. I'm on to page 3. It says here that I need to finish showing you my whips. Okay, so I showed the Rooftop Cocoa Shop. The other thing that I've been working on is my Starry Skies. Did a little bit on this. So here's the pattern. You've seen it a million gajillion times because I still haven't finished it. And here's where I'm at. So last night I almost finished this little corner here. I did a lot of the metallic in here and then, you know, added some more of the blue border. I already know, I can tell, I'm gonna run out of, it's a Rainbow Gallery metallic. I already know I'm gonna run out. So I need to find some more. I have a feeling Stitch It Central carries it. So I'm gonna call Maria at the shop and ask her if I can get some more. So, so yeah, Rooftop Cocoa Shop, Starry Skies, and the other thing, where'd it go? Ink circles. Damask Square. There's the, what it's gonna look like. There. And my version, which is done in blue silk. I know, it's on the diagonal, so kind of ignore it. This is the orientation of it. I have it because I can't stitch in hand, and it's this funny pre-finished fabric that is tricky to, you know, there. Can you see it? So I've done most of this motif in the corner here. As usual, I have completely underestimated how much stitching is on it, and as usual, it's taking me far, far, far longer to stitch than I say it's going to, because, you know, I should have been done 3 weeks ago, but it's not. It'll get done. I am going to be focusing on those 2 pieces for the remainder of this week and my stitching time. The other thing that I am focusing on is a sock for my father-in-law. I spoke about this on the Friday Off the Grid video, and I'm going to save that to share on the Friday Off the Grid video because there was a whole story about knitting a pair of socks for my father-in-law, but it has begun. I have started them, and I will share that with you on Friday. Okay, so I bought a few things. Just a few, not too many. So again, like I said, Crafty Kim came to London to visit me, and we met at Stitch It Central. So we bought, as you do, going to a stitching shop, you gotta buy some stuff. So I bought some fabric. Again, pardon the crinkling, but Maria had her fabric, some of it she had bundled up in pre-cut remnants, kind of, for very, very well priced. Very, very well priced. I mean, you know, $2 for this 9x13 25 count. Now, it's a small piece, but can you see it through the plastic there? It's super pretty. And I scored a piece of silk weaver, Belfast 32 count in taupe. And this is a, I think it's a fat quarter. I think it's a fat quarter for 20 bucks Canadian. So I think you can see the color, but yeah, silk weaver, sweet. So I bought some fabric. I don't need to show you more than that. I bought a little hoop because Crafty Kim said I needed one. Apparently it's good for little ornaments. She stitches a lot of ornaments. She knows what she's talking about. So I bought one. And I bought some perforated paper. Boring, I know, but useful because I have the Foxwood crossings. You know, those sled patterns. I own the sleds. I own the patterns. No perforated paper. So I just bought a little package of perforated paper because I thought 1 or 2 of those would be cute. Because they're not very big, right? Surely. I'm not over exaggerating that. They're not very big. Surely I could finish the stitching on at least one of them, maybe in December. I'd really like to because they're adorable. I mean, they're really, really, really sweet. Okay, so I bought some perf paper and I bought one pattern. One, that's it. Just one pattern because I just couldn't not buy this pattern. Cottage Garden, Bluebird of Happiness. And I love it. I love it so much. It's so pretty. So pretty. I don't need any more patterns. I really don't need any more patterns, but I just, those little bluebirds. I mean, do you remember I showed you Glenda Dexter sent me a care package. And one of my favorite things in that care package was this little bluebird of happiness that she tucked into the package for me. I love it. I love the symbol of it, and I love birds, and it just lives up there. And I couldn't resist, so I had to have that. Now, speaking of Stitch It Central, they are having, just I'm going to briefly mention, they are having a stitch along starting in January of 2020. They have chosen Cottage Garden Sampling's beautiful 12-part series called Songbird's Garden. So I'm sure they have more information on their website, Stitch It Central. I'll leave a link to their shop in the drop-down box below. Basically, if you buy the fabric and the thread through their shop, you get the pattern for free. And there's more information on their website. So, beautiful set of charts for sure. Oh, and I bought 2 skeins of weeks in the Charlotte's pink colorway because it called for it in this, and I knew I didn't have any of this. So 2 skeins of that. That's it. That was not the only thing that I purchased since the last time I saw you. This makes me so happy. I finally have a Mama Lee bag. So I purchased the beautiful collaboration between Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions and Stephanie of Lindy Stitches, who collaborated together and designed the Emily's House chart and bag collection. Emily gave her a color palette. Stephanie designed the chart based on Emily's animals and her good nature, her kindness, and the fact that Emily is an all-around awesome human being. And how could I not? How could I not? There were only 2 left. So I treated myself. I may have also got the thread pack. Shh, don't tell. But yes, I got the thread pack. Even though I didn't need the thread pack, I'm sure I could have made substitutions, but you know what? I wanted the thread pack. And it came with the Lady Dot Creates lace. It's called Dirty Face. I was helpless. I was helpless. I never do this. I never do this kind of, you know, I always kind of rationalize because I don't need thread, and normally I can say no, but you know what, this time, this collaboration, I wanted it because I wanted to support them and the shop, and it arrived and I just loved it from the moment I opened it. So it was worth every single little penny. The fabric is beautiful, Emily's sewing is beautiful, and I love the pattern from Stephanie. I'm a happy girl. So thank you. Yeah, it was good. Okay, so that's what I purchased since the last time I shared with you. That's more than I usually ever purchase. I don't need anything, so I usually don't really purchase anything. So that feels like a lot to me. So I'll probably keep a damper on it in the month of December. I don't need anything, that's for sure. Okay, just a really quick shop update because it is 1:32 and I am running out of time here. I can hear Luna sleeping soundly over there. The Benadryl is probably kicked in, so I think we're okay. Very quick shop update. First of all, if you happen to be on Etsy mistakenly looking for Evertote, because I'm no longer on Etsy, I have a different shop through Shopify now, and if you just type in www.evertote.com, it should take you to the right shop. In case it doesn't and it takes you over to Etsy, you're going to see a sign that says this shop is on vacation, please come back again soon, or something like that. The reason for that is because my accountant had to reopen the shop in order to get some numbers out, and she has to keep it open until she's done working with those numbers. She's doing the number stuff. And so she kind of panicked and she called me and she's like, your shop is reopened and they charged you for this kind of stuff and this kind of stuff. And so she said, I quickly put it on vacation mode. So I have not reopened on Etsy. If you see that, that's the reason why. The proper shop is open. There are bags in the shop. There probably will be far, far fewer new bags, new material in the month of December. I will keep all of my fabrics that are in there now. Those are all available. I'm gonna wait to have new fabrics come out until January because my sewing for the month of December, I would like to focus on a quilt for a friend, and I need the time to do that because she's a very special friend and I want to make sure that I get this done. I am making a quilt for my friend Josh, and I hope she sees this. I'm not sure she always watches my Flosstube videos, but I hope she sees this and I hope she knows that I'm going to be starting this in the month of December for her. I have some fabrics that Josh sent to me that are very special to her. They were gifted to her by her godmother, and I'm going to be turning them into a lap or couch quilt for her. Josh has neurosarcoidosis. She's having a particularly bad flare-up the last month or so. This comes and goes. It's a lifelong thing she is dealing with. It is not fun. It is, she's you know, she is a strong, beautiful, loving woman. She's also a knitwear designer. She's an incredible knitwear designer. We, the Fibre Friends, have talked about her a lot on our knitting podcast. Side note about the knitting podcast, if you think, oh, a knitting podcast, I should go and watch Caroline over there. Just side note, it is not generally meant for kids. So it's not the kind of podcast that you'd want to have on when your kids are in the background. It's kind of a thing to enjoy later on in the evening, maybe with some headphones on, because things generally, there's a little more adult humor, a little more adult language. It's just not intended for kids. And what can I say? I guess that's all I can say. But we do have, it's a beautiful friendship the three of us have. My friends Adrienne, Louise, and myself. I love these girls. We have a ton of fun together talking about knitting. And this is how I met Josh, was through this knitting podcast. She has designed and knit a shawl for all three of us girls, and we've all received them now, patterns that she made up herself. And the shawl that she knit and made for me, I highlighted it and showcased it on Friday's video that we recorded and did. So she knit it in one of my favorite colors. It's kind of a robin's egg, peacock blue. The color is almost showing true there. And she knit it out of one of my favorite yarns, and then she mailed it to me. And she has now written the pattern. It's being test knit, and the pattern will be available for sale on her Ravelry shop in a couple of months. But she has actually named it the Caroline Shawl, which I find both astonishing and incredibly touching. So I have been wanting to make Josh a quilt for a long time, and I can't think of a better month to do it than the month of December, when I'm celebrating the stitching and crafting community. So I hope to bring you along with me. It's going to be a very simple quilt because I want to make sure that it's done and packaged and sent in the mail to Josh so that she can enjoy it. So that's why I'm not going to be overextending myself by also then offering a lot of new bags and things in the shop. So there may be the occasional quilted scrappy bag, because sometimes I just can't help myself, and I have a lot of scraps, and putting them together brings me joy. And I'm going to be looking for things to bring me joy in December, because I think that's what the month is all about. It's just having fun and special feelings and hygge. I don't know. Somebody correct me, please. And I will still probably get it wrong, but that's okay. And guess what? That's all I've got. 3 pages of notes. I did it. I have a funny feeling this is going to be closing in on an hour and 15. That's my guess. You guys already know because you can see the timestamp. But I am so glad to be back. If you couldn't guess, I've missed you. I've missed you all. I've missed chatting to myself, chatting with you, and, you know, imagining what fun things you're crafting and hanging out with me. So thank you. Thank you for joining me and being crafty yourself, because we're pretty awesome, I think. I can't imagine any other way I'd rather spend my time. It's the best. So happy Monday, happy stitching. I will see you on Thursday for a short video on fundraising for muscular dystrophy. And I'll see you then. Happy stitching.